From Empire Training Grounds in Buena Park, California, we welcome you to the Submission Only series. Today's Jiu-Jitsu Rules tournament consists of regional pro grapplers in the 145-pound flyweight division. Matches at Submission Only series consists of one 7-minute round where all submissions are legal. No advantages, no points, no judges. If the competitors do not get a submission within the 7 minutes of regulation time, we then go into overtime. With a 1-round minimum and a 3-round maximum, competitors are each given an opportunity to attack either from the back or from an armbar position. The competitor with the fastest submission is then declared the winner. If there are no submissions within 3 rounds of overtime, the winner is then determined by the fastest cumulative escape time. Now that we know the rules, it's time to get to the event. It's a great day for grappling. Let's get straight to the mats. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are at a wonderful submission-only tournament going on right now at an undisclosed location. No Karens allowed. My name is Raul Esparza. I'm joined by my good friend, John Evans. John, how are you doing, sir?
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to the fights today.
Ooh, already
duck under.
Starting with some excellent Luis Quinones wrestling to begin with. Underneath, you see Alex trying to work for a little bit of a Kimura grip. Now Luis getting established side control pressure here. John, are you familiar with Luis Quinones?
I am not.
Let me tell you a little bit about him, man. He has recently competed at the Jiu-Jitsu overtime competition with, the Edgy Barrage over in July.
Yep.
He is also a combat jiu-jitsu vet. He competed in one of the special matches. He won. He's also a silver world medalist, and now he is attacking the back here, and he looks like he is in a very good spot. He's going to opt to go ahead and start going a little bit more to the side. He has a Kimura trap system that is working off quite nicely here. John, what else are you seeing there?
Yeah, it looked like he was going to go for the back of crucifix, but now just trying to transition straight over into the back. And yeah, he's throwing that top hook over. He'll probably try to get that left leg through, sit up, and then throw the bottom hook.
And this is going to be a lot of time to work. These are 7-minute rounds, so you're going to see him have a lot of time here. And again, as somebody who's competed in the Jiu-Jitsu overtime competition, this is not exactly a great spot that you want to be in.
Yeah, definitely not. Never want somebody on your back, especially when they're fresh and there's a lot of time left.
The referee double checking on the position, and of course, the referee being everybody's friend, Johnny Ho, the esteemed co-owner of 10th Planet Marietta. And they return back to action in 3, 2. Well, you guys were ruining my count. I had it down perfectly here. That's fine. Okay. Well, it's not going according to plan. Of course, Alex Lindo is also the owner of the Planet Halvers. So essentially, Planet Haulers, my apology. It is a junk removal and hauling business. He is the CEO, owner. He is a brown belt. Also, you may notice he has a Bob Marley tattoo on his apparel. So I'm going to guess that he enjoys weed.
Probably fair.
Quinones starting to work. A great placement over here.
Oh,
this may be very close to being done.
He's got it behind the
putting
head.
Squeeze. Alex is trying to pull it apart, but we do get the tap, and that is a great way to start off the very first of many that we're going to see here today. We have a lot of competitions. This is the 145 Pro event, and we're glad to have these gentlemen coming on out here. We're, of course, excited to have people competing again, and it's nice to see people getting back into the spirit of things, because we do understand this is a weird time for everybody, so we're just doing our best to kind of navigate it.
Yep.
And I'm very glad to have everybody here. It's good to see you, John. I haven't seen you because of the pandemic.
Well, I mean, there have been a fair amount of tournaments going on,
right.
Especially for the past 3 months or so, but not in California at all.
No.
So yeah, it's a rarity. This is the first time I've commentated in, oh my goodness.
I know. Everybody always talks about the athletes, so like the athletes aren't getting much to do, and I was like, well, what about the commentators, you dicks? What do you think we're doing?
Yeah.
You guys don't compete, we don't talk.
Goodness.
And I like talk good.
You just speak the English
I like
goodly.
talk good now, please, sir.
Absolutely.
The two competitors right now, two MMA practitioners going in, and I will tell you a little bit about Taylor. Taylor has excellent wrestling, attacks it very, very nicely, and I'll tell you a little bit about Angel Diaz. Angel Diaz out of Systems Training Center, a fantastic and phenomenal individual. Gets the takedown, but you're going to see Taylor start to work a little bit of that rubber guard. Now Angel starting to back out. He's going to get an opportunity to pass here, but he's going to let Taylor back up. I don't know that I especially love that. Taylor's starting to work a little bit on the head. Really, really solid snap downs that I've seen him from
I've
his
seen
work.
some good wrestling here in general today. I really like that arm drag to the double that he just did. It's very nice. Whoa, good feint though. And Angel bites hard on that one.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that you can look at with a lot of Taylor's experience is just how good his wrestling is in just not only the MMA setting, but in Jiu-Jitsu setting. So it has been phenomenal to watch his progression, his journey, and having him compete out here. He's Las Vegas based, is super cool. He's getting those opportunities. Recently, I saw him also competing a few weeks ago. I think he was also competing at the Jiu-Jitsu World League. I mean, dude, I just like the fact that he's keeping consistent and getting out there and getting as much competition as possible.
Yeah, you can tell he's got that wrestler base. His stance is very wrestler-centric, and I like the feints that he's throwing too. But, and Angel trying for that arm drag again, but not able to make it work. He's going to concede the guard.
Yep.
Gets all the way to close guard though.
Absolutely. And this is really going to give us a little peek as to how they play within a little bit more of a slow down setting. So this is going to be really important. Where we're seeing Taylor start to work to break the guard a little bit, which I think is really smart, and we'll see how Angel is able to react to this. A few other notes that you guys should know, just a little bit about Taylor. Taylor's also no slouch to knowing the other people in this competition. He is friends with Bendy Casimir. We'll see him compete in a little bit as well. He also comes from an MMA background. Angel's been competing on the amateur circuit, and man, he's a fierce competitor as well. I've trained a little bit with that guy, and he's somebody who is very, very fun to roll with.
Yeah, and they're going at it right now. Out of the close guard, Taylor on top. He had to look out for that straight armbar, but now with a good head and arm position, looking to put the pressure.
Almost working to advance here. It looks like he's close, maybe still in half
Yeah,
guard.
I think Angel's got the lockdown, so that's keeping some of the pressure off of him. Only problem with that is, unless you're going to go for like an electric chair or something like that, it just buys you some time. So
It buys you some time and potentially takes the pressure off just for a few seconds. A lot of people tend to be very savvy to get out of that, especially here in this kind of a competition. You're going to feel a lot of people are used to being put in that lockdown for a number of periods of time, one might say.
yeah, and it looks like out of the lockdown now, I think Taylor looking to control the hips. This is a really good grip around that bottom hip there. That's going to keep Angel on his side, but it's also going to lock the hips. Should allow Taylor to look for head control with his left arm and then leg work out of the half guard.
And this is interesting because I am seeing the beginnings of what would be a little bit different of framing. You know, you see Angel trying to get the underhook
Yeah, and he's
here.
got it, and he works very nicely done, working his way up.
And he is
with
working
the-
toward that sweep that you were mentioning a little bit earlier. So nice call there, John. We're going to see what happens here. I would be a little cautious because if you know that one of his homies is really good at knee bars, you might look in that saddle position as something to kind of be aware of. Now, you're going to see,
Yeah, and Taylor going all the way over, looking for this leg.
almost looking to see if he could separate
Yep,
here.
but
He
he's
might have
in this
totaled.
electric chair, too. I can't see if there's a lockdown.
Yeah, I don't know that there is. They're going to go ahead and stop and reposition them over to the
Yeah.
center. This is going to be a shootout, John.
Yeah.
And you know what's weird about the electric chair? Some people can just eat that.
Yeah, I don't think there is a lockdown, though, so that significantly takes the pressure,
off of it.
Yeah.
Now it's going to give Taylor a little bit of time to kind of figure out where he wants to be, if he wants to go and do it. The only thing that's keeping him, he has that leg around Angel's head. So there's always a threat of, you know, where is it that you both are going to go? You're almost tied to each other in this competition setting.
Yeah, that's going to prevent him from swinging the left leg over and just going full bore on this knee bar unless he does something to change his angle.
Of course, and we're looking at still 2 minutes left of competition time. So as slow as this may be, the inches are going to be very, very important to see where they go within a few more seconds. Here,
He's
John.
getting that leg separated, and he's going underneath. It looked like, oh no, going for the heel hook now. And that's probably a smart move. This outside heel hook can be hard to finish. It looks like Angel he's got his arm in there, and he's trying to fight, but unable to do so. Taylor gets the outside heel hook.
Well done there by Taylor. A little coordination here between everybody trying to figure out, do you want me to raise it now? Do you need a second? What are we going to do here?
Yeah, nicely done. 2 fights with 2 submissions.
This is a great pace. We should keep this going all night here, John.
Yeah, no, I like this.
Especially when you see the longest match has been, what, 5 minutes? I'll take that any day. Especially when you're used to getting people pushing each other around with the forehead, pretending to wrestle.
Yes, yeah, and so far we've seen some really good wrestling, to your point,
Absolutely.
too, so, which is always great to see.
Kevin Hughes, who has been interesting to watch. He recently competed at, I believe it was the Ultimate Mat Warriors. So it was fun to watch him compete there a few days ago. Dude is always fun to watch. He has a high pace. He's traveling out all the way out from 10th Planet, Portland.
Wow.
So, 1 second.
Oh, and sits into the saddle, and he's going to look for this inside heel hook. Does not get it, though.
Not yet.
Trying to hold on, and I think this is very smart, controlling that far leg. Really important to control the far leg. Sets up the submission by limiting the mobility of the hip girdle.
Absolutely. And you are seeing him. I mean, he trains out with Nathan Orchard. He is definitely somebody to watch for in this tournament. The way he rolls is very aggressive. It is very fun. I watched him put together a savage rear naked choke, but he has no slouch on these leg locks. As you're already seeing, his opponent looking around and saying like, hey man, I'm coming up on danger, but he does get out of it and
Good
quickly
defense.
goes into a sense of creating some wrestling. We're not doing some wall work here, guys. All right. Because the closer they get to the wall, the closer they get to us. And I'm not looking for that in my life right now. Thanks, though, guys.
I like this, though. It's a good pace, and get to see stand up. Here we've got Kevin on a 2-on-1.
Yeah.
Not able to get anything done with it, though.
Not initially, but we're going to have to be patient to see what exactly he's got.
Interesting to see him sit right away. He jumped that Candy Basami earlier and was able to get there and look for the heel hook, but also had some decent wrestling, but here having to worry about this knee cut pass.
Yep.
And stepping aggressively over into mount.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Kevin's rotations, his inversions, he seems very comfortable in all these positions.
Yes,
now
and going for the saddle again, and he's got this inverted heel hook.
That heel is close. He's going to have another time. You're seeing a very quick try to grabbing of the knee. I don't know that that's going to prevent it. At this point, you've got to really roll, and you are going to run out of space.
Oh, man.
Unless
And
they go
this,
and prevent it.
Yeah, he's still got to dig the heel, though.
Man, that's ever the opportune time to stop right there for me.
Roll. Yeah, just roll. You get here. You got outside triangle.
Okay. They
Yeah,
athletes,
they worked it
seems
out,
like they
yeah.
figured it out. There was a nice bartering system that happened there. If you do this, will you give me an apple? I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 pounds of sugar as well. You can make yourself half a pie right there.
That's
Okay. Well, they are going to talk it out.
I like this. Look at that. This is something that you will never see at like the gi worlds.
No.
where they will fight for every grip that they
In
never
every
had.
language possible, by the way.
Yes. But both fighters come to a consensus here, and
They're almost back in the exact same
Yeah,
position.
exactly.
Switches it over to the other side now.
Good
He's bringing
defense
the supporting
again.
leg on this. This is going to be really bad. He's going to have a couple options here. He's going to have a heel hook. It looks like he can also go to those slicers there.
Yeah, that knee is
John,
free, though.
That you tend to like all the time.
I definitely like the slicers. Underrated submission.
Absolutely.
Wow, that was a great exchange, and I like the way that Kevin was attacking those heel hooks. His opponent escapes immediately and then attacks heel hooks of his own and goes right to the saddle. But both.
Now, let me caution you a little bit here, John. If you are training with Nathan Orchard and you see an open guard,
very nice guard pass.
I was going to caution about being too comfortable in someone else's guard when somebody does a dead Orchard consistently, and I have seen Kevin pull those off. So I would be
nice.
very, very weary of that position.
Wow, and what a good entry into the 50-50. Looking for that inverted heel hook.
Now we're going to see Kevin have a little bit of time to pass, and I think that's going to be great to watch, the variety between the two.
Yeah. Kevin's guard entries into saddle and 50-50 have been really nice to watch. Not able to get anything finished, but that's just because Matthew's defense.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit more. I mean, if you look at Kevin, the way he's been competing, he's been a monster there.
And there was that Craig Jones style.
Back there.
Lift the leg, grab the bottom leg, and he's got the inverted heel hook.
He is here, my man. He is looking very comfortable, and this is where I think you probably do not feel comfortable. Kevin opens up the legs just to maybe reposition it a little bit, but gives it up.
Yeah, the knee started to get free, so. And again, right away, trying to invert and go right after that saddle position. But this time,
Stop the position. We're going to center them back over to the mats. Now we're going to see what happens when Kevin has to work on defense here, and this will be an interesting perspective. All right, back to work here. There's 4:33 on the clock, which means there's about 2:30 left in regulation here. Now, if we need to, we will be going to the regular EDA
look,
overtime.
we might see a mounted triangle. Is that? Yeah, I think
well
he's
done here. He's closing that up.
Yep. No, it's a no arm. But this can finish though.
What do you need to do? Ooh, it gets the tap out there. Excellently done, man.
Yeah, it's one that you don't see a ton, but I mean, recently Keith Krikorian finished
Absolutely.
with that in a tournament, and actually messaged him to see how he finished that one, and very nicely done. Because usually you have to have your own arm in there to create the pressure, but he said without any arms in there, just squeeze
It's impressive, man.
like crazy, and you can get the submission.
I mean, we're not all Keith Krikorian, let's be very
It's
clear.
true, yeah. Unfortunately.
Oh, you guys are so nice. I can't believe you guys would say that about me. All right. We keep everything going here. I'm so glad that you guys are joining us for an awesome day of grappling. It is a great day for grappling. I think that's the easiest way of saying it, John. Don't you?
It is the easiest way of saying it.
Of course. So we've got Anthony Olvera versus Bendy Casimir. Of course, the king of the knee bar coming down on this one. Very excited for this match, my friend.
Benny versus who?
Benny versus Anthony Olvera. And Anthony was sitting a little bit earlier wearing a gi, and I wondered, you notice a no gi competition? I went up to him and I said, what are you doing that for? And he goes, I'm cold. Now, listen.
It's a 200 IQ maneuver right there.
John, I'm not
That's
going to
what the
say
gi is for.
genius, but
That's
I
what the
will
gi is
say
for.
genius here in this room today. But look,
like
this is why it's so great. You're already seeing Luis Quinones over on the side getting ready. But meanwhile, in front of us right now, Bendy Casimir, again, king of the knee bar, heavy MMA competition. Now, John, he's also pulled off knee bars within his MMA competition.
Yeah, always interesting to see people that are fighting MMA come over into the grappling world, even if that's their base, just because you know that their stand-up is going to be at least decent.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would tell you this, John, looking at how Bendy tends to get into his entries, he can do them from just about anywhere. Like, watch the way this man rolls into a number of different scenarios where he's got it. It is impeccable to watch. So I would highly encourage you guys, if you are not as familiar with Bendy, do yourself a solid. Start to learn you some of his game. As we continue to go on, I'm so impressed to see just the way that he also has a sick beard. Have we talked about that? I mean, normally it's a little more filled, but right now the beardless power of him is something to behold here, John.
Yeah, it's a nice one. Oh, I like that. Clearing the grip, using the knee.
Here's something to keep in mind.
A little bit of
Ooh.
yeah, there's like a weak 2-on-1 into a single leg.
I mean, dude, I would if I could. That was great. A nice little trip up to it. That's that kind of thing I do when I don't want to pick up something from the ground. I use my old soccer skills to go and pick up all the laundry I don't want to pick up. As we look into the next minute of competition here, we are already seeing some interesting things at play. We're seeing Bendy stay up a little bit more, but here's what I want to make sure people know. On his Instagram, he has put up that it is his mission to build a series of knee bar masters. So he's looking to build a whole army of people who are just going to bust up your knee. I don't know how you feel about that one, John.
I approve.
Yeah,
I like
I mean, I know you would approve, but I'm saying, like, think about the costs, the medical costs that's going to take for people.
Well, you know, you want to make an omelet, got to break some knees.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
If you only clip one thing from this show, Plaster, please go back and clip that. That would be much appreciated here. Oh man, this
Yeah,
is
now
already proving now to be within just the third minute of competition here. We're going to see Bendy get some opportunity to start passing. He's probably going to put some pressure on this top leg, if I am assuming correctly. But you are seeing underneath, though, Anthony trying to get a hook, kind of debating between whether he wants to keep up a frame or get that overhook there. I think the frame might be better suited for this particular situation.
Yeah, I mean, this is, it looks like, well, I thought we were going to see a leg
lasso.
weave. Yeah, well, yeah, there's the, you know, a momentary no-gi lasso. Oh, and sitting back for this knee bar.
And this is exactly where Bendy likes to play, but now he's got a
Oh, I
Kimura grip
love
here.
that transition. Very nice. Looking for the Kimura, and this
That
thing
looks
is
solid.
tight. Yeah.
It's going to be hard to roll out of, but he turns it into a single leg. Wish I could do that as well. Looks for a trip to come down with it, and
Oh,
very
very
aggressively,
nice.
Bendy comes right back into a very solid position that's going to put him right
Let's
back
go
in.
with the Kimura, which is interesting because he's going after that knee bar. He is really forcing that. But good escape, though, from Anthony.
Think about that, though. If you're using your knee bar to set up into a Kimura back into the knee bar position again, you are getting the best of all worlds there, John.
Yeah, no, I like that. I mean, clearly Bendy really wanting that knee bar because he did give up a dead to rights Kimura to go for it, but did not work out for him. But I like that transition of going back and forth between the two.
It gives you a little bit of options, one might say. You know, it gives you the option of saying, this doesn't feel like it's going to work. Let me go ahead and switch over to it. I just have an appreciation for the transition work of it. The way that he very quickly used that as almost a momentum to stunt that single leg that he was almost able to get out of with there. So props to Anthony for making that happen.
Oh,
I don't
beautiful guard pass. I love this. This like cradle position into just some good leg work and stepping through. Now looking for maybe a step over Darce or north-south.
North-south is looking like it, but I mean, here's the nice part about Bendy. I think he usually creates distractions that usually keep you going one way and then quickly transition to another.
Yeah, he's some pretty sneaky setup so
Look
far.
It's almost like Darce. Now he's almost going to front headlock. Like, look, John, he's going through all of the positions of jiu-jitsu right now.
Yeah, and he's just sitting right over into a head and arm guillotine, but head slips out. Ends up on bottom. Takes the risk and did not pay off, but it was a nice attempt, though.
Of course, Bendy has been no slouch in terms of competition. He's recently competed at the Bullpen Submission Series as well under Team Hooligan, who did pretty good, one might say, over at that competition. That was great to see. I would tell you he's also teaching.
Gets the sweep, yes, and right over into mount.
Now he's got some time to sit here, actually, if he wants to. Because he's been very good about mounting this pressure and keeping it consistent, which is very important to do in these positions.
Yeah, tries to leg work through, but ends up with that right leg stuck in the half guard. But it's pretty far through. It's like a 3/4 mount, nearly. Decides to back step. Oh, wow, and he's just going right after. And we might see the super knee bar, and there it is. Yep. Beautiful. I like the way he set up that super knee bar right away. So grabbing the far leg, putting it over the top thigh, so that way there's no way you can defend.
Can I just say what I'm happy for? I can't just talk about how good you're going to be at knee bars if you don't finish with the knee bar. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Proved you're right.
Hey, man. I mean, he proved the nickname right. I didn't do shit.
High output, so you really want to get your heart rate up here.
Very nice, guys. We're coming up for our last 30 seconds now.
Ready, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Nice work. Take a second.
So anyway, we are glad that you guys are joining us right now. We're having a blast watching. We're already into the second round, which means we're already at the semifinals of this whole shebang. You're going to see Taylor McCorriston versus Luis Quinones. And I know that I was telling you a little bit about his background before, John, but it's important to note Luis Quinones also has experience winning in both gi and no gi at the UWW World Grappling Competition.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
in the gi too.
International. I know. I've given him shit for that.
And not just to keep himself warm.
No, not to keep himself
Wow.
warm. No,
Okay.
no. And I've told him in the past, I was like, yo, bro, why are you trying to make us forget about how good you are at gi? And Taylor wants the mission of getting down the wrestler right now.
Yeah, and I like that this is a new trend that you see a lot. I mean, you saw it before too, but it seems to be very popular in the meta right at this moment, where wrestlers are pulling guard and getting an easy sweep out of it.
Yes.
And that's exactly what Taylor did. Pulled guard, ends up on top. In the half guard, though. Maybe not exactly where he wanted to be, but he is on top. Probably didn't have to expend as much energy to get there as he would if it started standing.
Yeah, and I mean, this is always interesting. A lot of people would sleep on the way that Luis works from his guard, but he has one that's pretty impressive here. So it'll be interesting to see how he adapts all the way through. It should be noted, though, that Taylor says on his Instagram that he is a semi-pro pizza eater and an amateur couch potato. Now, I'll tell you this.
Okay.
If you're an amateur couch potato, you don't get takedowns like that, John.
Even if you're just an amateur? I mean, ooh, trying to sit over, go for this leg.
Trying to make it a very quick day for a heel hook here, and Luis starting to put into action a very quick amount of leg pummeling here. And here's what's really great about Luis. Luis is fast.
Yeah.
If you look at the escape that he did there right now, leaving Taylor no time to really get in a good position all the way through. Now it's going to be a battle of if he can pull that leg back south a little bit more for him. I don't know that you're going to see that, so it's very likely to
pretty
see
far out,
which one of these individuals is going to come up first, and that's going to be Taylor, who very quickly reads the ability to maybe put that pressure back.
Nice leg work right away. Barely gets out of there, but he does get out. Nicely done. And I like that Luis was really going for that outside heel hook. He found himself in trouble trying to shoot his legs over into the inside Senkaku position.
I mean, watching how Taylor was putting that together, though, for the heel hook attack, for all those different things, it's really fun to see how that continues to build for him all the way through. Now he's going to have to work in guard for one of the first times. Seeing Luis kind of coming in, a little bit of that 10th planet rubber guard control.
Yeah,
doesn't quite get it and then lets it go.
Yeah, interesting to see, too. He grabbed over, and usually for that first grip, you're going to want to grab under and even pull the wrist to you so that way you get a super deep bite on it. But, yeah, that one did not look so fantastic. Maybe just didn't have a good angle on it or something, so lets it go. But now seated up.
I think sometimes it's a little bit of push and pull. I think if you feel that the person is going to go up, you almost want to try and keep that momentum if you can't pull them back down. Then you're using more of your strength. And here, you still potentially have, another 6 minutes here and then whatever overtime, and the next round it is. So it's a little bit of a strategy in terms of figuring out where you want to make your battles go.
Now, because this is technically the semifinals, right?
Yes, it is.
So is the time limit the same?
The time limit is going to remain the same all the way through. So 7 minutes all the way through, John.
And then 3 sets of EBI overtime.
3 periods of EBI overtime. And Luis taking a moment to go and ask for some clarification here.
From his corner.
Yes. One thing that you might want to know about Luigi as well, not only is he a brown belt, but years ago in a different world, he was racing motorcycles, a BMX sort of adrenaline junkie, one might say. So he has come from an entirely different background. I mean, you could see how he likes that need for speed, and that's part of the reason why when you watch his matches,
he's fast.
There is something that is to be said about the way that he makes that conditioning work for him.
Yeah, Taylor too, though. No slouch, very quick, and all of these guys have really good cardio, it seems, so far.
And I mean, I think that Taylor, I've seen him training over at Dunham, which unfortunately did close over the time. But he's part of the crew with homies like Damon Nitkin, Lopez. So shout out to those folks.
Yeah, I wonder if Nitkin's, because Nitkin opened up his new gym, which pretty much is the new Dunham's.
Atlas Grappling, absolutely.
Yes, I wonder if because it was Luis you were saying was there, right?
No, that was Taylor.
Oh, it's Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if Taylor's over there with him now at Atlas. Really good group of grapplers over there.
Some of the best. I mean, that's part of the reason why he's also used to a very high-paced match.
That makes sense.
And his MMA career also included having fights with TJ Dillashaw. And so, I mean, this is a guy who's kind of seen every form of conceivable battle there is, John. So right now, you're going to see nice little athletic time. I love this grip underneath.
Yeah, this underhook De La Riva grip.
No.
He's not been able to do anything with it yet, but they're just getting into this position, and Taylor taking some good deep breaths, using some energy.
Yeah. And you are going to see Luis kind of like maybe take a second to figure out where he wants to go here, because I think he's realized, hey man, he's pretty well versed in a number of different areas as well, so you don't want to expand too much energy on a bad strategy at this point.
Yeah, and I really like the wrestling from both of these guys too, so this is never going to complain when they stand up. This is
when you get some fun action from people that you go, oh yeah, these guys wrestle pretty good.
I mean, you can just tell right away. Ooh, very nice. I thought maybe he was going to try to hit that cross leg grip, go for fireman's carry or move towards the back, but Luis not able to clear that
I mean, I can tell you this in training a little bit with Luis Quinones in the past. Dude is really game for these kinds of things. Like, if you ever pull guard, he's kind of like, I'll play this. But if you stand up with him, he gets really excited.
Yeah, which
What
is...
the hell? It sounds like the 5-0 just showed up there. The dumbest choice you can make. Shut up, Mike. Anyways, back to action.
Nice double leg attempt, but then ends up pulling guard off of it.
He didn't pull guard. He slid into it like it was first base right there. My
He
friend.
did. That was a really nice guard.
By the way,
pull.
you don't slide into first base, everybody. I just want to make it pretty clear. It's been a while since I've done a baseball metaphor. That's how long it's been since we've done commentary, guys.
It's been a minute.
If you're sliding into first base, you've made some choices in your life. But as we walk around and we see Taylor starting to kind of use that similar little underhook that he's been doing all the way through for that De La Riva there that we were talking about a little bit earlier, John. I do want to point this out about Taylor. On his Instagram as well, you also see that when he was competing against his family, he does it hardcore. He bowled a 185 and he's like, yeah, I crushed my family because I'm not going to let them win.
Oh, wow.
So that's the type of competitor that you got there.
Spirit.
I'm just going to let you know,
He's
185.
towards the middle, but looks like time is up for
We're going to our
regulation.
first period of overtime right now, and the crowd accepts it. The crowd says, okay, I would like to see that now. It's been a while since we've seen some overtime, so let us get straight to it. It appears we're going to do a coin flip.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what's going to be the popular position. If people are going to go more spider web, or they're going to go for the back.
I think so.
That seems to be the typical position of attack.
Just so you guys understand what's happening behind the scenes, Mike Wilson, the tournament head, is essentially taking his time figuring out where to find a coin in his fanny pack. There is a coin shortage, so it is important to note that is part of the reason why this is taking forever. You would think he would have that at the ready, but typical Mike Wilson Jr. Typical. And they put back time on the clock, and you're going to see Taylor attack first. So it's going to be kind of weird. It's almost like you're about to ride a roller coaster here. All right. We're just going over the rules just to make sure that we keep everything on the up and up here, fam. So we're going in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, well, we got through it. Now we're already seeing there's one hook here, a good amount of control in the hips, except you are seeing Luis finding his opening. He's starting to push down on the leg. It's going to be very important to get your shoulders to the mat here because that will allow Taylor to go ahead and sweep back under if he is not able to escape firmly. Look at where the hip positioning is at all times in EBI overtime. That is usually the biggest tell as to where we are in terms of the overtime, John.
Yeah, and Luis really making some good inroads into escaping here already. Even the seatbelt is nearly down around his right shoulder.
It's loosening. He's still
and
not
he's
out of the
separated
woods 100% yet,
the
but
hands,
he's just
and
got to
this
turn,
is-
and they're going to stop it right here. All right, good first round there. We do start to see a little bit of the trends. Again, there will be 3 periods of overtime if necessary, but since there's one escape, if Luis gets a submission here, we could be done. However, we've got to get the submission first, so then it's going to go into ride time, and here we go. A stab straight into the heart. We're going to see as they wait and look on over. This is, again, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, a roller coaster ride. So we're waiting 2, 1, and go. It's like we're taking a photo here. Luis very quickly trying to get a lot of pressure up top. Now look at this. I can't firmly see where the hand positioning is, but just from the amount of lack of movement we're seeing from Taylor, you can tell that he is in a stuck position just from the control.
Yeah, and it looks like Luis has got, what does he have? Maybe like a half Nelson? Because his underhook arm is behind the head of Taylor.
That's what happens when you get wrestlers, dude. Everything is legal in terms of submission.
I can't see what's going on with the hands, though, but it looks like Taylor's in... Oh, is his arm? His arm is brought up behind his head. Both
now we're
arms
going
behind the head.
full Nelson.
Yeah, this is a definite neck crank. Yep. Yeah, that is a submission. I'm glad to see Taylor tap to that one. That's not one you want to sit there and eat.
No, not at all. That's how you can tell Luis has been heavy into that world because you don't see a ton of people using
don't.
a half Nelson,
Yeah.
but it hurts.
Yeah, and it's terrible, yeah. And it's very effective, so I like it.
But let's be very clear, his WWE BJJ is still terrible. Just because he uses one move does not mean he's good and well versed at the other. Very proficient and very technical to pull off WWE BJJ moveset, John.
All right, everybody, we love having you guys here. Marcos did not need much time to rest because Jacob Goode is ready to go.
But yeah, and Jacob was the last one to fight, so and we are underway.
Mike John says, I won't give any money to Rafa Esparza. You know what?
That's not a bad idea.
That's fine. It's just because you don't win prize money,
Wow.
Mike John.
Oh,
Anyway,
my God.
back to the action here at hand. Marcos and Jacob here in your final for the 145 blue and purple belches division. Very exciting action all the way through. We've seen Marcos put through 3 different wars already today. Jacob's come in. He had a bye in the first round, but he has made a huge impression. His first match was fire. His second match, look at that. Look at that quick submission that he was able to get in that match, and realize these two men have had different journeys to making it to this final here today.
Yeah. Well, Jacob just trying to Marcos his way around the guard there. We're using that as a verb now.
I think it's important to do that.
Marcos sits down. Tries to come up quick.
Someone said grab Rafa Snickers bar. Listen, I don't think that's going to help me, Sam.
Karen Esparza here, Mike.
All right, Jacob putting in the pressure,
Yeah, good head and arm control,
but it is going to get him guarded back up right
yeah,
now.
Marcos does the right thing, closes the guard, now attacking the right arm of Jacob. Jacob gets it back. And this is for home. There we go. Got the hand on the throat.
Ooh,
Marcos.
Careful over there. No regard for
Yeah.
ring outs here.
Yeah,
Keep wrestling with them.
And that was corner advice.
Yep.
Hard passing here.
Oh, no. Shaler Valentine saying it's a good day for an armbar. That's a good pun. He got it on the third try, though, so leave him alone, comment section.
Oh.
Beautiful trip there. Marcos ready for it, just ready to come up on it. Now, you're seeing Jacob try to maybe mess with that leg, maybe transitioning over to the arm, does not get it. He may have to close guard here, and I would probably suggest that for him to maybe slow down a little bit of Marcus's momentum with his juggernaut energy.
Yeah, but Jacob also uses a bit of explosiveness and speed in his game as well. Getting picked up momentarily, but there's the Marcos pass. Man, he is so good with that. Gets the side control, has the head and arm. Expect to see him move to north-south, because that seems to be his game.
We have to switch audio.
You want me to get him?
Oh, he's there now. Okay, good.
I'm like,
Keep walking through it. So, John, what's happening here?
So, historically in this tournament, Marcos, well, usually goes to north-south, or he'll go over into mount, but Jacob there with some nice guard retention, gets his guard back and then stands all the way up, and we are back into wrestling. It's interesting how Marcos has some good wrestling, but doesn't seem to fight for the collar tie. Jacob gets the collar tie. Marcos Well, there he is, collar tie. Looks for the Canny Basami, but he gets it with both legs, which is a great way to finish. Yes, and he is basically in reverse mount or donkey guard. Does not keep the position, and now we've got Jacob on top looking to pass. The position that Marcus was looking for is a great way to finish leg locks. Very underrated.
Of course, and Jacob looking for that clean passing here, but Marcos very good at both reguarding and then immediately attacking. Jacob might be in on a very good opportunity here as he's trying to mess a little bit with the arm, and you are seeing him start to climb and put that top shoulder pressure with a little bit of a tripod there to maybe free up that leg, John.
Yeah, Jacob was nearly going to take the back, but then use that opportunity to stay in mount. Now Jacob with this side grip, you can see with his left arm. Let's go with that as he can move up more around the head of Marcus. Now I think he has head and arm. Yes, he does. So maybe going to look to put Marcus on his back completely. He's going to use that other leg to free his right leg. He does. Marcus wisely recaptures the topside butterfly hook leg of Jacob. But Marcus, his arms are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're seeing Jacob so patient here now. This is where Jacob's game has been so excellent. He does some of the best attacks, and I think he's now just smothering them at this point.
He's going for this side
starting
choke.
to get that head and arm choke.
He's been hunting it this whole time he's been in mount.
Oh, man, this is coming close here, John.
He's trying to force it, but Marcus, just so difficult to finish. Able to find that extra space, gets out, gets his guard back, grabs the leg. Looks like Jacob defends his legs by triangling them. Still not out of the woods, though. And Marcus just kind of in this awkward position, trying to figure out how to go about attacking.
Maybe looking at one of those legs here.
Yeah, there's a very, very good toe hold on the left leg of Jacob. The legs get separated. Yep.
Yes, Goody!
Now starting to work on just putting, again, more shoulder pressure. 45 seconds. Now realizing maybe he's short on time and just putting everything into just a face crush.
Yeah, there is a neck crank from mount here where it's just, Oh, and he's got the arm across the body of Marcus, which feels terrible. Difficult to submit with, but feels god-awful. Can be a lot of pressure. And he's going to go for the Nogi Ezekiel. Does not work. Marcus gets some space back.
Going for the leg here.
Oh, man. And he had a good position for a second. Yes, and
Jacob
he should
it very nicely and trying
this.
His legs. It's
Marcus
close. He's
should
only got
keep
5
going.
seconds here. That's going to not be enough time to finish here, and we go to overtime.
Wow, this is a good final.
Keep talking.
All right, Jacob is going to attack first, and it looks like he's going to opt for the back position. Gets his head nice and close to Marcus. Marcus tries to get his head to the bottom side. Not successful. Prevents the body triangle. Starts turning, and we know how good he is at escaping.
He is out. That's going to be time. That's 12 seconds of ride time.
Marcus escapes. There's just
Money.
so quick, so efficient. I mean, you really... It's just such a tall order to beat him in overtime. You really hope that you get the submission in regulation. Just because dealing with his escapes is, man, it is so tough. Nobody's really had a great answer to it yet.
All right, here we go. 2, 1. Let's see what happens here.
And going for the spiderweb position.
Maybe because he understood. He
Oh,
had a very
separates
quick
the hands momentarily.
Jacob has his arm back, but that grip has to be way looser than it was originally. Oh, he's out, and that is at 13 seconds. The previous escape was 12 seconds. We are at a 1 second differential at the end of the first period of overtime.
Well, it is the finals.
I'm sorry, but overtime, period. Thank you. This is the finals. Thank you. All right, here we go. Next, Jacob Goode. Let's see if
gets
he's able
the
to
body
make
triangle.
some adjustments here.
Gets up to the shoulder. This is a very good strangling position. Marcus trying to hold that underhooked arm in. Now Jacob really putting some pressure on this, trying to squeeze. Good hand fighting from Marcus. And he's going to turn this into an escape too. He's also turning his hips.
Oh, it looks like
he gets out and
for a second, but he does get out.
Man.
Woo! That was a lot. All right, bottom of the second period right now.
Was that 18 seconds?
That was about 18 seconds, so we're really looking at only 30 seconds of ride time, but that may be a significant difference here. Now he's going for the back. You can almost guarantee that body triangle is going to be fastened very quickly here. That's going to keep Jacob way more locked into position here. And he's now working. He's got a lot of time and a good position on both of these hands.
And he goes to this double underhook position, which can be okay for control, but the fact that you don't have the threat of the choke can sometimes limit the control. Even though the control structurally is better, but without the threat of the choke, your opponent's just free to do whatever they want.
But there is a body triangle that just gets on the other side. Jacob now kind of wincing a little bit with it. You can tell he's really trying to get out of it. That's a loose triangle. He gives up attacking the arms to maybe try to address the leg, but he has to return it back here.
And so far, so good for Marcus. This is, I think, the longest ride time, but Jacob does get out.
Yes. Well, now it's down to the last period, John. Very last opportunity for both these gentlemen. And this is still a lot of money we're talking about here, John. It sounds like somebody is FaceTiming here. All right, here we go. Yes, it is so close, Nicholas Kevin. We are now watching Jacob Goode try to inch the neck, and it does look like it is a very troublesome.
Oh, man,
for a short choke.
This might be the best submission attempt.
He's trying to fold the arm behind the head, and Marcos may be in more trouble here as he's trying to just pull down on the arms. Jacob's putting a lot into it, and he does survive it. This is going to keep him there, but he's still in a body triangle as the crowd is coming alive. Yes, and you will see there is a slight break. Now, here's the question. That's not going to be enough ride time. I think Jacob knows that he is short on that, so I believe now it's just coming down to him holding it for a couple seconds. There's really not much to do other than escape as fast as you can, but you do have to believe that Marcos is ahead.
Yeah, he's
Marcos
gotta
Souza is ahead on the ride time, so this is going to be an interesting period of overtime here, friends.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that there's a way that Marcus can lose at this point.
Got it, Marco.
Jacob reaching up over the head, and Marcus, he goes for that double underhook again. It did do him pretty well in the last period.
Be strong here, really. The other way, body triangle. Keep dipping into him as well.
Oh, and slaps the choke on. He's going palm to palm, couldn't finish it. Now on the seatbelt. Oh, and goes right back for the choke. And this one is deep. This one's under the chin. He gets a tap. And Marcus is your 175-pound champion. Wow, what a match.
And Marcos Souza, what a monster, man. An incredible performance by him. All the way through.
And what a great way to end it, too.
Absolutely.
Fantastic stuff. Souza actually wins real money too. Christmas did come early.
Not just Monopoly money here, kids. Actual money. Here's a good time to remind you guys, if there was anybody in the 175 division that you liked, okay, and you wanted to give some tips to, we would encourage you to go to Venmo and at Mike-Wilson-291 and give some love to the grapplers that you thought were amazing here today. There were a number of them who had standout performances. And all you have to do is specify in the comment section when you send your Venmo who you'd like to give some money to, and we will make sure that they get a little bit of due props. So make somebody's Christmas, give them some love, do a solid for us. We'd appreciate it. And you know what? So it does seem like we are going to be taking a short intermission. We hope that you guys are enjoying the broadcast thus far in. So we're going to take about 25 minutes off, and then we're going to come back with some 145ers. We're very excited to have you guys joining us. My name again, Rafa Esparza. I'm joined here by my good friend John Evans. We'll see you guys back in a little bit then.
What do you want? All I'm trying to do is capture that ankle. Sometimes I capture it and they pull out. Boom. I captured it briefly. That's what it looks like. That's what the game looks like. But the main thing is to be able to somehow capture this ankle and then go after this leg. Then he's on the ground. He's trying to frame me off, and now we're battling here. If I'm right here battling and smashing him, eventually I want to come right here. And now I got his leg close, just like this. I got a leg curl here, boom, and I'm blocking with my elbow, but I'm here. I'm gonna lift him up a little bit to push, pull, lock down. Now we're here. Now he's on defense. And if you let me get underneath, most people that don't know the game, they're gonna let you get underneath here. And either we electric chair him from here, or he's gonna come up on top and we just leg drag him right here. And then now we're in the lock drag, and then boom.
So the black mamba is the flow or the grip?
Is the capture. You know, like the black mama, the black snake, that's a viper. The whole thing. It's like you bite. It's the bite. Boom, you caught it.
These are a lot of details, but everyone wants to listen to different details, you know? The details other people are looking for are probably not the same details I'm looking for. You know, I don't get to train Eddie Bravo every day, so like, sometimes I see him or hear him do certain things, and certain things that I haven't even seen before, and I've been training with Eddie for a long time, you know what I mean? So it's like, there's always new stuff, you know? Always new concepts, even with old concepts.
So that's interesting. So we've already got our first finalist.
Yes.
In Luis.
And Luis will advance to the finals, and here we're going to find out if Matthew or Bendy will advance to take him on. All right, here we go. Time begins. We have 7 minutes of regulation on the clock, and we will get to see a little bit of what both gents are going to be able to pull off here. As we saw a little bit earlier with Kevin Hughes and Matthew. I mean, that was an interesting match in the terms of Kevin had a very, very all-around good game, but ended up getting caught just positionally. So we did see that not only is Matthew willing to go and entertain bad spots, but that he's pretty game in those positions too, John.
Yeah, and I like the way he's just doing the world's slowest single leg, but does not get all the way into there. He had the arm around the leg, though, and it just looked like Bendy was allowing him to take it, which is interesting. Bendy did, of course, fight back, but you always get leery of somebody that just gives you their leg, like they love to defend that or something.
Let's be very clear. If you look at some of the transition work on Bendy's social media, you know that he's able to pull off these knee bars by rolling into them in positions like this. You see it.
And going for that Kimura immediately.
And now they have a back compromise. He's got a good grip here. It's just going to matter on the transition work. And
and he's going to use this to sit into the knee bar. That is his setup. Kimura to knee bar, and I love it. It's so specific, and he's really good at it. He's trying to work those legs through, and he's looking for the leg.
One.
Yeah, if he can get the knee through, then he's got it. Nearly gives his back in the meantime, but
done.
Yeah, and this high pace, but he's going to find himself in nearly in the backside of 50-50 there.
And Matthew was very much looking for the legs to try and attack on his entries on those as well. So listen, guys, this is what I enjoy about this match. You are seeing a very high-paced match, an output in terms of both of these gentlemen making sure that they're going to try and make it work to their favor.
Yeah, and I like the stand-up grappling too, because a lot of it, you'll see pure wrestling, but you'll see it lead directly into submission attempts. So a lot of, oh man.
How many times do you see somebody just push them off of you? I've seen people use it as like a stiff arm to like slowly get their way up. Matthew literally stiff armed him and he flew. Well done.
Yeah, and back up on the feet.
We're going to center them back on over. Johnny Hill making sure to protect us. We appreciate him for doing that. Thank you, Johnny. All right, now it's going to be a grip battle all the way while we're watching them in the stand-up positions. And I think you're going to see both of these gents kind of exude a little bit more confidence now that they've kind of felt each other out.
Man, just the pace of these matches.
I know. That's a lot, John.
Yeah, crazy. Like this, trying to clear the collar ties. Looked like Matthew had double collar ties for a second.
Yep. And, I mean, part of it is just Bendy's very, very good movement, period. Like, he's not staying in that position. Most people, when you have that double, like, head control, they'll weigh you down, they'll sag you down, and they'll just try and wear you out a little bit there. Bendy just seems to make a slight little adjustment, almost similar to almost like boxing footwork, and it keeps his head from being so stilted there, taking that pressure off of it.
Yep, just resetting again.
And again, we are looking at right now, it's about halfway through regulation here. So I think the important thing is to note, all right, you already know who advanced into the finals. You watched that match. Now you got to work on yours, and you got to see what you got to do to make it so that you can get there. That was a trip attempt, but that was almost a straight kick over to the thigh, my friends.
It was, yeah. And Matthew had good head position. He was looking right into the neck, but I think his arms were out of position, so he tried to go for the foot trip to maybe set up something else. Jumps in the cannon Basami immediately, looking for this leg. Nearly had it separated, but now because of the defense from Bendy, this actually gives Matthew both legs to control. So it saves Bendy in the interim.
What's happening with the arm here, John?
Bendy is working on this
arm lock?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just a hold for control, but it can turn into, say, a Kimura, which we know Bendy really likes and looks for a lot.
But you're also looking at Matthew just saying, like, hey, I think we're stuck, and I want to know how much longer we're going to be in this position to figure out what my next move might be.
Yeah, the only problem is without that right arm.
2.5 minutes. 2.5. Simple math.
Oh, tries to pull the arm over his head, but now that's going to free up Matthew's arm. Bendy immediately going back after that arm again, which is maybe not the worst idea.
Matthew working to advance here in this position. This is really solid, man.
Yeah, and I like that. And it's something that you won't see as much when somebody has that entry into the saddle. They'll just sit there and try to force a leg lock. But I like Matthew coming off into side control, looking for the pass, and he gets it. And now stepping over, maybe looking for that. We're right next to these competitors. I don't want to give away anyone's game.
I think we've already done that several times, John.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well,
it's too late.
Yeah, I think Matthew was looking for that near side arm bar there.
Yeah. I mean, he thought about it. He was scoping it out to see if it was possible, and I think he figured, okay, let me keep the pressure back on here, because there is still 2 minutes to work, or I'm sorry, 1:30 at this point, just shy of going into those overtime rounds. Now you are seeing, I mean, listen, he keeps kind of testing it out and figuring out, like, hey, is there something here?
Yeah, and it looked like Matthew was going to step that left leg over and maybe look for a knee bar of his own. But yeah, Bendy just staying balled up.
This is a huge opportunity right now. You got 1 minute to make something happen. So if that's the case, you probably don't want to go to overtime to make it a little bit more of anybody's game.
Yeah, and from a strategy perspective, are you looking to now maybe you're staring down the barrel of overtime? Are you looking to conserve energy, or are you just trying to finish
That's a great question, John.
as hard as you can so you don't take it to overtime? It's interesting to see.
I mean, I just know if you put in the work and you get these opportunities, it's easier said than done, but you really want to try and finish here because, again, if he rests maybe one period of overtime, he might be right back into it and he advances there. So he's got 20 seconds here to make something happen. Bendy is very much making sure he's chilling, and he just tosses him on over the side. And that's going to give him 10 seconds to work here. All right, kids. This is going to be where we're at.
Yep. Oh, I like the effort, though, from Matthew.
All right. We get to the end of regulation here. Again, we thank you all for tuning into this. We appreciate you. We appreciate you watching. You guys are the real heroes. Is that what we say now? They stay at home. Are they the real heroes now? Everything's backwards right now, John.
Well,
I don't know.
everyone's heroes. It's good.
We're all
Yeah.
David Bowie wrote a song about it. And it just referenced that. That's what real heroes is.
All the young dudes?
Oh, God damn it, John. All right, back to work. That's enough out of us. We're into the first period of potentially 3 in overtime right now. We're getting the knee to the back, roller coaster ride, and we take a photo. All right, we already have a pretty good control here. Now, here's what's interesting about this. If you're looking at it, Bendy is coming from Vegas, but he trains a lot with the 10th Planet group. I believe he actually, I think he might be coaching out at 10th Planet Vegas. Okay. So he's going to be pretty well versed at these overtime rules themselves. You see Andy over on the corner coaching his guy and making sure to like kind of keep his eye on it. But look at the rear naked choke grip here. It is slowly just trying to drain energy here. John, can you walk us through a little bit?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly
what's happening in the grips.
Yeah, but it seems to be something that's, you can hear some labored breathing. It seems to be something that is
uncomfortable to be in.
Yeah, and Bendy feels threatened enough to have his right hand up by his ear, so that way he can spider walk it up and get his arm into play for the defense. So, I mean, and yeah, you see, he's got this underhooked arm that he is now completely rear naked choke gripped. He's digging his head in there, and he's walking that right hand up by the shoulder.
He's going to go back, try and get a high triangle again, but it's on the inside. I think part of it is it's a good containment. Like, he's stuck there, and he has to try to work out of it. Just from the
and he gets all the way up to the shoulder, so see if he goes gable grip. No, he's going to go for full rear naked choke.
This right here, John.
Yep.
Gets the tap. And that was with 126 worth of work, so that is going to be the time to beat. So it's going to figure out which shot do you take at this point. Do you feel confident in your back control, or do you want to go straight into a spider control? John?
Yeah, I mean, either way, you got to finish quick, though. Yeah. So that's a tough decision, I guess.
Well, especially when you have somebody who you see how they've already maneuvered with their back control, you figure their defense has to be pretty good, or at least knowledgeable enough. So we're talking about having to work out of a triangle as soon as possible. And Bendy already starting to kind of almost transition into that head and arm.
Yeah. But the only thing is, if he doesn't get this and loses the position, then that's it. His tournament is over.
I mean, Bendy.
Although, yeah, he is working it out.
However, you are seeing Matthew try to turn into it.
Good
he might
leg
be
work.
out. And yes, well done. That was close, John.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I gotta tell you, man, I get worried when I see people do that transition from that back control, that head and arm. It can be very deceptively deadly. So I assume. Nope, Johnny. We're good. Some slight confusion from our friend Johnny Ho. There we go. A bigger round of applause. Yay! There we go. We did it. Have the finals coming up next, and then we will have more action coming along. But just to kind of recap, I want to give some acknowledgements here. We've seen some great jiu-jitsu from all of the competitors, even those who maybe didn't compete all the way through.
Yeah, all of the matches were good.
All matches have been solid.
hard way. Fighting through the pain only got me so far. Citrus CBD ointment has allowed me to limit myself and my potential. I'm no longer held down by my pain. From our life to yours.
Talk a little bit.
Where are you training at?
I'm training at Black House MMA in Gardena, California.
Where are we at right now?
Right now?
Like, what are we doing here?
Oh, right now we're at the submission only series. We're in the finals. I got 3 wins, 2 submissions in regulation, 1 submission in overtime. I'm gonna try to get 1 more in regulation and end it off well. Yeah.
And I heard that Black House, that you have a career in MMA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My last fight was on Dana White's Contender Series in August. I lost that one, but I'm getting the ball rolling again and getting the momentum, competing, and getting back on track. Yeah.
Are you focused on like your feet or grappling?
Everything, man. Like, I try to be as well-rounded as possible. I love all martial arts, striking, grappling, ground and pound, and everything. So yeah. Thank you, bro.
What's your name?
I'm Brady Huang. Thank you, bro. Yeah, nice meeting you.
See how this match goes. How you doing?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm good, man.
Nice.
What's your name?
My name is Raul Rosas. I'm from Santa Rosa, California. We have our 2 brothers, Justin and Kevin.
Cool, man. What you been doing here today?
I came to compete. I haven't competed in a while. We train in our garage, but I believe we're like the best in the world, so.
And how long have you been training here?
I've been training since I was 4, and right now I'm 16 years old. I'm just trying to compete against the best to be the best.
Are you focusing all on jiu-jitsu?
No, I do MMA, striking, everything. But I like grappling too.
So, are you accepted any fights recently?
My last fight was in January, and because of COVID, but I'm trying to stay active too. I won by rear naked choke, like always. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, it was a good fight.
So I hope the finals goes well. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it'll be an exciting match. I'll put on the show.
Thanks. Thanks, Michael.
Raul.
Welcome back. We are here for the finals of the 145-pound division here at Submission Only Series. It's been an amazing event so far, and this will be the finals. We've got Brady fighting Rosas. Rosas in the Mexican flag-colored pants, and Brady in the all-black virus shorts. Brady with some good wrestling in the previous matches and does get the takedown. Very nicely done. Rosas trying to lock up an arm. Brady gets out. And Brady keeps falling into the dilemma of getting caught in this triangle. So far, so good, but worry about him in the future of this match. Now in closed guard, and Rosas with long enough legs, he can just easily lock the body triangle from closed guard. Brady covering the mouth of Rosas. Oh, and Brady sits through, and he wants to go after this heel hook, and this is pretty deep. Rosas rolling out of it, and they just roll right out of bounds. And from the way that Brady let go, I thought maybe there was a tap, but it's just because they went out of bounds. They're going to restart him from the feet. And Brady with that great wrestling that we've seen so far. Let's see if Rosas has an answer for that. Although Rosas with a very good guard as well. Oh, nice foot sweep attempt. Rosas shooting in. Good sprawl from Brady. And Rosas is actually going to complete the takedown, which is very impressive against Brady. And with this underhook, Brady able to get to his feet. Rosas with a very good whizzer, though. We've seen him use that whizzer in his previous matches to great effect. Brady lets go of the underhook now that they're back on the feet all the way. Oh, and Brady trying to stop the forward momentum of Rosas as Rosas shoots in to stand him up, and deep on a single leg gets the takedown. Rosas right away looking for the attack, and they're back to standing. Rosas clearly wants to be on top, and we can see why, because his passing is so good in his other matches. Moves towards the back. Brady's in a lot of trouble all of a sudden. He needs to turn and re-square up, and he does. Out of danger. Placing his hands on the mat. There we go. Well, back on the mat with that right arm. And now the guard is open. And Brady's out of there. And for sure, look for Rosas to try to stand again, get his passing going. He definitely seems to feel more effective there. And a nice rolling back take from Brady in the scramble. And Brady locks up the body triangle. Rosas with a very good back escapes, as we saw from the overtime. But Brady working the choke. He's got the body triangle, so Rosas seems to be slowed a little bit, maybe a bit of fatigue setting in from his previous matches. But he does get out and wins the scramble, ends up on top. And now we can see if he can actually keep this top position, which he's had a difficult time doing up until now. Brady trying to figure out how he's going to attack. I wouldn't mind seeing Brady just open up the guard and stand up, though. Brady's seemingly content to attack off his back. At the very least, in the closed guard, there's not a lot of attacks for Rosas, so maybe not a big deal until the guard is open at the very least. Rosas stiff arming. I think he's got the hand maybe covering the mouth. Hard to see from this angle. Nope. Just stiff arming, pushing on the face. Brady breaking the posture. And Rosas has inside control with his arms, clasps his hands together, and tries to hold them on the inside. Taking a very defensive posture and looking for his opening, and then he gets it. He gets double unders, and he passes immediately. And this is where you don't want to be if you are Brady. That pass was lightning quick, and he kind of lulled Brady into thinking that there was one pace that he was going to go at, but immediately moves past the guard, and we have got a final on our hands. Still about a minute and a half left to go, and Rosas probably going to work after this far side Kimura. Nope, but does not present himself, and Brady looking to get up, and he does. nearly overturns Rosas, but Rosas wisely stands back up as well. We get to see the wrestling, which has been so good from both of these guys. Good front headlock. But they run out of bounds. Pull him back into the center. Tell him to go, and nice shuck down. And we're gonna look for a go behind from Rosas. And Brady puts his back to the mat, concedes side control, feeling that's his best option. Oh, and he's gotta watch out for that arm. He does get it back, making some space, trying to get his guard back. Oh, and that near side armbar, Rosas falls for it. The elbow is free, but Brady does not use that opportunity to stand up. Rosas taking the back, and they are nearly out of bounds. 8 seconds left to go. And Rosas ending in a very good position on Brady. But that is time, so it's gonna go to overtime. Wow, what a final. The movement from both of these competitors is really great to watch.
Who likes cash? Attacker good? Attacker good? On my go. On my go. Go! Go!
And they are playing for cash, so a lot on the line here. Rosas does get a body triangle, which has been elusive for a lot of these competitors so far tonight. It is on the bottom side, though. Let's see if Brady can escape. I don't think we've seen Brady in the EBI overtime yet. I might be wrong about that, but I know he's finished at least a couple of his matches, maybe all of them. Rosas, such a ferocious attacker, and doing very good with position too. Able to keep this back. This is a lot of ride time racking up, especially knowing how quickly Rosas escapes the back. Oh, throws on the choke, and Brady peels it off. He's got to keep hand fighting though. Yes. And there he's able to clear it, but just barely, and he's not out of trouble. He's got to spin. He cannot stop if he wants to get out. Otherwise, Rosas is going to keep him here forever. Oh, he starts rolling, making some space. But not able to get out. And I'm not sure if Brady's going to be able to get out of this in time. That does not bode well with the way that Rosas has been escaping lately. I can't think of a time when Rosas has been held in the back position for longer than even 30 seconds. So see if Brady has maybe the answer to this riddle as we move into the second round of overtime, or the second half of the first round. Whoa, and the full ride time for Rosas. That is something. Oh, and okay, this is interesting. Brady going for the spiderweb position, something that we haven't seen a ton of tonight.
On my go. All right, on my go.
Let's see how, maybe not a bad decision either, being the way that Rosas has been able to escape the back pretty efficiently. And of course, a submission will end this. So maybe going for broke. This might not be the worst option for Brady, and he does get the arms separated, at least initially. It's just hand on hand. But look for it. As soon as that hand becomes completely separated, Rosas is going to make a very quick motion to get out. He moves so explosively when he feels the escape is there, and it was there. He gets out quickly. And there's going to be 2 more rounds in this overtime period. Man.
Attacker, good. Defender, good. Defender, good. All right, on my call. All right, on my call.
3, 2, 1,
go. Go.
And Brady trying to escape, but he does allow the body triangle right away. And that is rough. Unable to escape the body triangle in the last period of overtime. Let's see if he fares better here. So far, hand fighting pretty well. Oh, except for now. Arm across the face, and this can go on a pretty strong choke. Even if it is.
Spider web. All right, scoot up. Which arm? Same one. All right, so on your back. Ready? Take the arm position. Go, guys. Quickly. Get your defense ready. Attacker good? Yes, sir. Defender good? Yeah. On my go.
3, 2, 1,
go. Winner in overtime by armbar. Brady. Hey, bro. What's up, guys? Well, Hunter, Richard, Brady, Huang. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Congratulations. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys. Woo! Buy a new one. You're rich.
Hi everybody, we're back. We're here for the final. I'm gonna go ahead and clap right now. This is Isaac Cordova versus Luis Quinones. My name is Rafa Esparza. Glad to have you guys back and joining us. I'm joined as always by my good friend John Evans. back to the match. John, what can you tell me about both of these gents that you've seen here today?
Man, really good intensity. They're both seem great on the feet and also on the ground. Great cardio. Very wily. They're good at escaping.
Let's talk a little bit about Cordova. He had a hell of a match against Bendy Casimir and was put through a lot of really rough transitions there. Arguably could have been losing part of that match, but proved to be a gamer, so you cannot sleep on him. He has been amazing throughout, has a really good rear naked choke that we saw in his overtime period. Meanwhile, Luis Quinones with a hell of a submission in overtime with that full Nelson. That was really impressive to see. And now working his passing for a split second, looked like he saw the greener pastures of being inside control, but instead Cordova does an excellent regard. And you can see the inversion here by Dog really starting to put it on our good friend, Luis Quinones. This is a very interesting match in this regard, my friend. I can tell you this about watching Luis Quinones seeing that Kimura grip, Dog trying to respond underneath, almost seeing if he could reverse it, putting in that triangle kind of control on the arms, but watch how systematically here you're seeing Luis lock himself through it. Now he's in guard. They're going to reset them back on over to the center of the mat. When we had the moment in between, there was a little short intermission there. Getting to talk to both of the gentlemen, I could say that they were very, very happy about their performances here today. You know, you could see they're stoked to be back out and competing, and obviously we went up to go apologize for calling Isaac Matthew. But you know what, maybe it's a better name. Let's see if we stick with that then. So now we've got about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in this match. You're going to see a sweep attempt by Dog, and you're continuing to see Luis Quinones just kind of figure out what is the best strategy to work from inside of the guard here, John. What do you think you will see from him coming up here in a few?
You know, I'm not sure. He had inside control, but now he allows Isaac to swim that arm in. Once he swims in, Isaac's now underhooking the left leg of Quinones, and I thought maybe he was going to look for a flower sweep, but nope, just keeping the posture broken, keeping him in the closed guard. Luis keeping good inside control on top.
Yeah.
And, I mean, as long as Luis has that inside control, probably pretty safe. Oh, but he puts a hand on the mat, and this is where it starts to get a little bit more dicey. And also, he's not squaring up with Isaac as great as he should be. His hips should be more squared with him, especially, I mean, that's just like closed guard 101, right? You want inside control and you want to square up with them. If they start making crazy angles, then a lot of things start opening up. He does posture up, but that allows Isaac to get double unders and trying to pull him down, but Quinones looks like he was countering with a can opener.
Quinones is very much a fan of a little bit more of the non-traditional things here. He's a means to get things done kind of a grappler.
Yeah, now we got some rubber guard action going.
So now we're going to see a little bit more of what the control is going to afford us here, John.
Yeah,
We've seen some good disrupting of balances going back and forth between the two, and it's just the base of Quinones that is keeping him very safe here in these positions where most people might be a little bit more tipsed over.
Yeah, Isaac now, I'm not sure what he's working on there with the chin, but he was making some good angles, but it looks like he just wants to underhook one of the legs and go for a flower sweep.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the hard things. If the guy on top is squaring up with you, which Quinones is not doing the best job of squaring up, but he's not terrible at it, though. He still stays pretty square. But if the guy on top squares up with you and has inside control, which Luis definitely has inside control a lot,
then it shuts down so much of the close guard. Like you have to have some like really intricate setups or some sneaky action reaction type things to get things going. Yeah, but now out of the close guard finally.
And 1:30 left to go here for Quinones to work.
Quinones looking for that hip control again. He's with that left arm.
He's trying to use his hips as more throwing the legs, as kind of creating a little bit of space and misdirection here, which is what we usually tend to see from Luis in terms of his output. But I mean, again, he's already had some matches here today, so it's understandable that at this point we're going to see maybe not frustration, but a little bit of, okay, how am I going to pass this guard here? Because I've only got so many seconds left to go in this match. For a split second, I think Luis was raising his hand like he wanted to do some combat jiu-jitsu here. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah. Isaac not able to get anything going with that inversion there. Just straight up inverts.
Yep.
Without any grips or anything. Now off into the knee shield guard. Quinones not able to get his leg work going the way he wants to pass, and Isaac not able to get his offense. So a little bit of a stalemate here.
And we end the period of regulation. We're going to go into overtime. We'll see how this one plays on out here, kids.
Yeah, this one's going to be really interesting because both of these guys are really good at defense, and both of them are very good at attackers too. So
we have the coin. We're waiting to see what Luis is going to do first, and he is going to get the opportunity to attack the back. All right, waiting for the last seconds here, and for the knee to be put down in the back. And the weirdest timer in the world lets them know it's time to start. We are already at a body triangle on the inside, and Luis is really trying to make this.
Yeah, and this is actually the first body triangle I think that we've seen in overtime.
Like a clear body triangle.
Yeah, I don't think there was one in any of the other.
Luis really looking at this money right now.
He's up on the shoulder, which is terrible. Yeah, it's over the face.
Ooh, Dog still trying to get out here, man.
Oh,
Isaac is getting
so
stretched, I think.
Though.
It is.
It'll start to crank. It'll start to
tap. Yep.
Smother. Gets the submission. That was pretty quick in the first period.
Yeah, it took about, a little over 30 seconds there, so that's not a ton of time to work. It's still theoretically possible.
Yep.
But Luis Quinones,
and here we get to see.
All right, I mean, listen,
Changing
dude.
it up a little bit.
Sometimes you got to pull out the Hail Mary, my friend.
Nope. And he decides it's going to go for
Could
the
you
back.
do that? I thought that you, once you did it, it's like your final answer, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Clearly you can.
All right, well, we learn something new every day here, kids. Here we go.
Immediately to the back.
Now. Dog in. He has got his back to the mat, and that will give you your winner. Luis Quinones taking home the prize of, I believe, it's about $1,750 or $1,700 here today. So big congrats over to him. Luis Quinones is your 145 expert winner, though.
Winner, $1,500, Richard!
$1,500, look at that. Though arguably, because it's Luis Quinones, it'll be the first time they ever use the word expert in his name. Yeah, does that work for you? Is that fair?
Well, yeah.
I think that's the way to do it.
Works, yeah.
Good job, 2-1 Luigi Quinones.
Very nicely done. Yeah, Isaac had to go for broke there. He didn't have a lot of options because he did get submitted pretty quick in that first period. So, he did what he could, but it's just not quite good enough.
Here's what you need to know about Dog, though. Dog, he'll sneak up on you, man. I mean, this is one of the first times if you're watching him, you get to know him a little bit better. But if you've been watching him for a while, unlike what it seems like we have, we know him. You would know that this kid has been tearing it up on the competition scene. He is somebody to keep an eye on, and I definitely hope that you guys will see him compete more in bigger tournaments as well. So hopefully we'll see him getting more of his name on out there. John, I'd like to see him compete a lot more at other tournaments. I'll put in a good word for him there.
Yeah, seriously. Both those guys are great.
Well, anyway, my name's Rafa Esparza. This has been a great opportunity to chat with our good friend John Evans. It's been a good day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.
Yeah, submission only series, sub only event. Mike Wilson put together. Was a ton of fun. I think everybody's happy to be able to at least be out here doing something. I'm sure a lot of I'm not the only one with ring rust. I'm sure a lot of these other guys also felt the same way. But I think at the end of the day, we're just grateful to be out here. Yeah, the cash is fun and that's great, but to be able to just come out and train and compete is, I'm sure all the guys love that. So
Can you run through your 3 matches really quick?
First match was fairly quick. Started wrestling exchange on the feet, got to the back, and then finished with RNC. Second match, I think, I forget his Taylor something. I think he's a Drysdale black belt. Strong positional game. Kind of was just more of a kind of stalemate type of match. He was controlling my leg, I was trying to pass. A lot of kind of pummeling for position. Ended up going into OT. We work OT so much, so as soon as he got on my back, I was like, yeah, I'll get out of this for sure. And then got on that backpack at the end, which was Burchak's. And as a wrestler, we always talk about full Nelson, but they're illegal, so it's fun to be able to do it in jiu-jitsu. And then it was a great match. Isaac's super tough guy. We trained with him a bunch. Comes to HQ, so we're very familiar with each other. I got Andrew in my corner. Couldn't really ask for a better coach. And I'm not a huge fan of winning in OT, but shit happens sometimes. I got caught in full guard and should have tried harder to get out. But get the ring rust off really, because I guess combat jiu-jitsu or jiu-jitsu OT was my last competition, but that was really like a slam dunk contest. Yeah, it's kind of, you're not really you're there just to work on that one move, right? 1 or 2 moves. My last real competition was combat jiu-jitsu in March, so definitely felt rusty. Yeah, I felt rusty for sure, but
complete control though.
Sure. Still felt rusty.
Yeah.
I wanted to put on more of a that first match was good, because it kind of got to showcase some stuff, but got a full Nelson, which is tight.
Yeah, that backpack. Dude,
so Burchak.
Anthony Burchak special.
But it's only better from here. If the rust hopefully just kind of comes off, I'm gonna try to keep the momentum going and just try to compete as much as I can. Thanks, Blast. And wait, there's one guy right here that I want to say something to. This guy right here. He talks a lot of shit, but I love this guy.
How'd you do? You take second?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No. See what I mean? Tough first round, yeah.
It happens to the best of us.
Exactly. So I watch his matches on Combat Jiu-Jitsu. Is fucking savage with them slaps. So.